97 Cutlass strolling through the air. Bass booming, it's a party inside the slab. It's whatever, baby, you could put it on a tab. Blessings in the wind, shall I see it, then I grab. Ay. Probably with the set, making bangers. Spare time, we be ride swingers. Pushing on them gears, pushing on them gears. Out here, and we swinging. Watch for the scanners, watch for the scammers. We be setting standards, we be setting standards. Only going forward, they no going backwards. Anytime we in the booth, it's a fire hazard. Put some Dayton's on it, now they hating on it. Supreme clientele, they was waiting on it. Pontiac, Firebird flying on them. I got a need for speed, I'm a Florida on them. Gran Turismo, running game on them. This is custom kitted, whip the paint on them. Forza Motorsport, change lanes on them. Twist the metal gang, throw the flame on them. Hey, probably with the set, making bangers. Spare time, we be ride swingers. Pushing on them gears, pushing on them gears. Out here, and we swinging. Watch for the scanners, watch for the scammers. We be setting standards, we be setting standards. Only going forward, they no going backwards. Anytime we in the booth, it's a fire hazard.
Woke up feeling blessed, I ain't dealing with no stress today. Staying to myself, cause I won't let them get the best of me. We been pushing forward, we ain't focused on what's yesterday. They wanna know the formula, can let them know the recipe. Whoa, metal to the floor, hear the engine roar. Pull the top down on the 2-door. You can't push no buttons in this new car. Can't let them push our buttons, we came too far. Sometimes you gotta remind them what you do it for. We done came up, we was too poor. Got the butters on the feet, we from New York. They can feel it in our body, know we too pure. We was too mature, way before 24. I got kicks up in my closet that I never wore. We was down bad, now check the new score. They know it's ISO to the indie, we the new norm.
97 Cutlass strolling through the air. Bass booming, it's a party inside the slab. It's whatever, baby, you could put it on a tab. Blessings in the wind, shall I see it, then I grab. Ay. Blessings in the wind, shall I see it, then I grab. Ay. Blessings in the wind, shall I see it, then I grab.
Ay, probably with the set, making bangers. Spare time, we be ride swingers. Pushing on them gears, pushing on them gears. Out here, and we swinging. Watch for the scanners, watch for the scammers. We be setting standards, we be setting standards. Only going forward, they no going backwards. Anytime we in the booth, it's a fire hazard.
Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning no war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick. Give me the loot. See now we going high stakes. This ain't clickbait. This a risk take, this no mistake. I was born to do it. I was born for music, I just get into it. I can't get influence when I'm the influence. No genre music. We go rap back to pop back to rap. Country on the track. I was once broke, I was down bad. Swear I'm never going back. I'm from upstate where we see a little bit of this and some of that. Little city and some sticks. Watch me put it on the map. Someone get attacked. If you're not first, then you're last. Life is a race, don't you lag. I get a bag and I stack. The reason I taxed was not cause they needed me. Got all of mine equally. I see what they need from me. Blood, sweat, and tears from the frequency. Now you believe in me. Cheers for me. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning no war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go toe to toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick. Give me the loot. Word on my palm at the top of the game. Still unashamed, no one to blame. Took all the L's and I rose from the pain. Can't have the sun without seeing the rain. And it rained down when the rain came. See the time change, rolling plain Jane. You and me are not the same, stop saying things. Yeah, they talk, I don't say a lot. I just walk, so I'm moving loud. Really keep it low key, I don't like crowds. Really keep it OG, I don't like clowns. Really keep it just me, I'm the best out. I don't try to keep up, I don't stress out. I don't cash no checks cause the checks bounce. I don't chat about that, I'm the best out. And I did all of this with a pen and a pad. Shift up the tech, got the notes in the lab. Remember the days when I want what I had. Still want more, guess I'm stuck in the past. First or last, fast lane, chuck up the deuce when I pass. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, tricks. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the toe till I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, tricks. Give me the loot. Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Bill, I'm in the. Hey, all work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in a stretcher. The comparison, y'all know y'all couldn't replicate it. Chilling in the desert, I'm good under pressure. Stick around, let me hold it down, look at what we found. This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles. From the ground, let me to the clouds, never coming down.
Welcome to the official podcast of PHP Architect. Join us to listen to the latest news and tech talk from our conferences, the magazine, and wider PHP community.
I'm afraid to get started, but we're going to try and see how this works out. You're listening to the official podcast of PHP Architect. This is episode 2025.06.12. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is John Congdon.
Your video and sound is much better right now than it was when before we started broadcasting.
This podcast focuses on all things PHP and web development. We also touch on the larger PHP community and our general life as real life developers. We'll also talk about our company, PHP Architect, the magazine, and the conferences. We record every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, and the podcast is made a little better thanks to our wonderful partners over at honeybadger.io. Honeybadger helps you deploy with confidence and be your team's DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and performance monitoring in one simple platform. It's free to get started, and setup just takes a few minutes. Be the hero your team needs. Suit up at honeybadger.io. I'm sorry, that was such a terrible read. I am not in the mood today. Don't want to hear about it, Honey Badger. If you're not watching our live stream and you are just listening to our audio podcast, you should think about tuning in live. You can do that over our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PHP Arch. And while you're there, why don't you pop into our Discord at discord.phparch.com, and you get to be part of this entire wonderful thing we call a podcast.
We call it a podcast.
know, John.
Not everybody calls it a podcast.
Some call an abomination. I don't know, John. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's good. It'll be fine.
Good. I've got a bunch
fine.
of strange men in my house. First off, they're taking walls down and they're pulling floors up, and I am about at my wit's end with this whole thing. If you turned into the show last week, you know what this is about. But last week, right before the show, I had a flooding situation in my house. And funny thing about this, it doesn't get better over time. No, things get so much worse. I, I've
That
had
they do.
fans and dehumidifiers and air air clean scrubbers, and I had like my house has sounded like a freaking airport runway all week. It's freaking the animals out. It's freaking me out. I'm not sleeping. I'm a little cranky, John.
I You weren't on the call with the client you were talking to at that point. I had told him about this situation, that you were on the call with him when it happened. He goes, "Oh, when I see her, or next time I talk to Eric, I'm going to tell him I was the one that made his water break."
Yeah, I actually talked to him after our meetings. Like, hey, you played a role in this whole nightmare I'm living in now. Thank you very much.
A big rule.
Hey, was Christopher Miller. How are you all doing? Good to
And
see
Duck
you,
Nizzle.
Duck Nizzle. Happy you have joined us again.
Yes, for sure.
Yes,
So you were not in your normal office because of said flooding situation.
yes,
But
this
I
is
see you brought friends
correct.
with you behind you.
I do have friends with me. I even got the thanks to my very good friend Sarah Goldman, I got an Elvis big elephant back there. But the big guy, the big Tony, really happy to have the big Tony.
Mhm.
So that's yeah, I got a few things, and then of course the PHP women elephant is my other one. I actually don't have a big Archie. I need to rectify that situation at some point,
I'm not
but
sure how you're going
maybe
to
a big
rectify that
Archie.
one. I think we only got one when we took over, and
Yeah, no,
he's
that's
hanging.
my whole
He's
plan. I'm going to steal
hanging out with me.
yours. Yeah, yeah,
Hanging
that's
out
my
with
whole
me.
plan.
All right.
Besides that, my week has pretty much been dealing with this nightmare.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's any actual coding you've been doing, or has it all been dealing with people in your house?
Dealing with the house and doing videos for the conference, man, which I think we've got a huge dent done. If
You've got a huge dent done.
yeah,
I've got a
well,
couple more.
you got
Yeah, I got a couple
yours.
more to upload, and I was starting it right before we went live. I'm like, wait, let's not upload while we're actually recording. That might not go
Yeah,
so well. So I'm holding off on
yeah,
that. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
We got
So,
we got some word from a couple of speakers who are on board with us sharing. So I think we're gonna probably release a few more on the YouTube channel. I did release the native PHP one, which the audio is horrible in the one that I got. So I'm hoping John's able to do when John does his, if his is more cleaned up, we'll
uh,
repost to the
I
YouTube
definitely
channel.
cleaned it up. I just had no audio. So if you've been in our Discord, you've seen me post about this, but I got almost all the talks done for the ballroom, uh, and I uploaded them all in one mass shot. Kind of got them all going. Started linking them into phptech.tv. Not really thinking much about it, just doing what I'm supposed to do, and then listen to one. I'm like, there's no audio here. Didn't think much of it. Like, I screwed this one up. Went and tried to fix it, and then find out. I think it was the next day. No, half of the ones I did had no audio, and I know when I edited them, they had audio. So what I think happened was, in my audio software, I had a bunch of tabs, and I would take, a section of video, move it over to a new tab, and put the bumpers in, try and do some crossfading and make it sound a little bit better. And I think there were a couple where the audio was so bad I had to clean it up, and it ended up being a different track. So then I muted the first track, which I guess muted it on all of the uh, sequences, they call it, the other tabs. So when I went back to that tab to export, it was muted, and I didn't even see that. I'm like, ah, driving me
Yeah.
crazy.
I
Uh,
started going through and listening to a couple of mine, and this again, we don't do this professionally, so I hope everybody's patient with us and understanding. But like, I went back to listen to a couple of the ones I did, and the audio volumes are all over the place. Well, I think First off, I am now second guessing. So the service that we use has some new features that you can enable when you upload. One of the new features was to normalize the audio, which I kind of do before I export, but I'm like, all right, well, I'll just normalize it again. And I'm thinking that was a mistake because like when I listened to it before I exported it, everything sounded fine. And then I went to listen to it on the phptech.tv and it's way low.
All
And
right,
what
I'll turn that
sucks,
off.
yeah, I think I'm going to turn it off too. So I'm in the same situation John was basically in, where we've already you would think, oh, that's easy, just export it again and re-upload it. But we don't save each talk as its own project. Like the
We sh-
conference as a whole is a project for me, and then we do each talk. So the
we need to talk
situation.
because I think I've figured that part out. We have
Oh, have you?
you have the sequences. We can rename the sequences, and then they're available in the bottom left. So we'll have to play around with that some more. And then it's auto
Um,
saving, so you can go back. So I found all the ones that I've done, or at least the ones I found so far. So I've been making it work.
yeah, you're gonna have to show me that trick. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I heard that one. I'm like, oh god damn it! Now I got to go back and find this talk, find the room, find the time, find the talk, cut everything back down.
yeah. You shouldn't have to. If you've done new sequences every time, if you've just been in the same sequence, then that's not going to work.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know the sequences, but yeah, I think I've
It's
been in the same sequence.
then it won't work. So I've been doing. We'll talk off air.
Yeah,
We can spend way too much time on this.
we really need to start paying somebody to do this for us because we're not good at it.
Yeah, we're good
But
enough.
we'll get this out to you guys, and yeah, I
We're close.
think if you guys come across issues with the videos, just ping us, and we'll just redo them. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all we can really do.
exactly. Um, I've been having fun in a couple of different projects this week, work wise. Outside of that, personally, my son turned 11 on the same day that he had his promotion from fifth grade. So we had a full day planned for him, and he had a blast. We took him to the fair and just had a nice day away. And he overcame some fears. He went on some bigger rides. Do you remember the Gravitron? Uh, the fair near us calls it something different, but it's just where you go inside the big round thing that spins really fast that sucks you to the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he was terrified to get on that. Um, and I had my niece with me, and we ran into one of her friends. So, like a few of us went on it, and he stayed off. And then he decided he liked it enough where he wanted to go back on. And meanwhile, at this point, I'm like a little queasy from it. I'm like, I'm all right. I can do this. And then now he wants to go on. Wants to overcome his fear, but I need to go with him. So I need to go on again. So I go on it a second time, and he ended up loving it, which was great. And then he wanted to go again. I'm like, I'm done. But his cousin and friends went again with him. And on this one, it got going, and somebody across the way vomited.
No.
I guess it was right at the end, and you just saw everyone just getting off the ride, like just because it's enclosed too, and they're all like covering their mouth.
That's horrible.
I was so happy I did not go again for the third time. Uh,
Yeah. I have to
but
admit, that's something I kind of miss. Like when uh Beck and I first started dating, I was tall, but I was a very thin individual. And so getting on rides was uncomfortable, but not impossible. And then I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, I got bigger as I got older, maybe got a little taller, but I swear to God, everything is being made smaller. And like, I got to a point, like right when the kids were young, the kids had been like they were just getting old enough to want to ride things. And of course they were it were like the smaller roller coasters for kids and stuff, which probably
Hmm.
didn't help. But like I just came to the realization I can't fit on these rides anymore. Like there's the width issue, which doesn't come into play as much as the length issue. Like there's nowhere for me to put my knees and legs. Like I just got tired of like crushing myself into these seats and trying to enjoy the ride. It's just like not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And so I haven't ridden rides in a very long time. And I do miss it because Beck's a maniac. Like she loves the roller coasters. Like any roller coaster she wants to get on and ride. She's which is hysterical because the woman is terrified of heights. Like even in our house, like looking over the balcony from the second floor to the first floor makes her knees wobble. But
Really.
you can belt her into a roller coaster and she's perfectly happy.
I get that. Like looking over the edge, I'm not terrified, like, but I do get that like oof kind of feeling looking over. Um, but paragliding, I don't get that. On the rides, I didn't get that much. So mostly
Yeah.
you're strapped in, so you kind of feel a little more safe, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, so that was personally, and then professionally, had fun after the fair. I come home, and you might have a beer or five at the fair, and I'm
That
sitting.
escalated quickly.
Nah, I only had one, but I'm sitting in my bedroom at like 10 o'clock last night, and client pops on saying, "Hey, is anyone available to take over releasing because she's on the East Coast and now it's midnight her time, and there we did this big upgrade from Tailwind 3 to Tailwind 4." And you would think not a big deal. Like it went
Yeah.
through the normal QA process, and then sat in our develop branch, so everyone should have had it for a week. But then we release it, and shit hit the fan. Like things were just kind of messed up all over the place. So I
No,
guess
no.
they were fighting it post release for a while, and then it got late for her, and she's like, "I think they're close. I just need somebody here that can actually do the release to production." And I'm listening in to everything they're trying to do, and it just sounded like I had a QA person look in and goes, "Oh, and now on mobile, when you click on the hamburger menu, it's blank." And it's because somehow the width of the entire menu was so wide that all the links were off the page, so all you saw was the white space on the actual page. A couple pages where the hamburger menu that's only supposed to be on mobile was showing up on the main site, and it's like, but why? It was such a nightmare. And it doesn't help that Tailwind is on top of the legacy site, which includes Bootstrap and Font Awesome, and sometimes Font Awesome twice because it's included in Bootstrap and on its own. It's not it is not pretty. Our front end
Mm.
people absolutely hate working on it because it's such a nightmare. Like they were ecstatic that management allowed them to put Tailwind in originally, and now we're doing the upgrade, which they were hoping would be easy, and it just wasn't.
Nah, that sucks.
Yeah.
And there's no hiding it, right? I mean, like we have. when you deal in the back end, you just kind of hope that people don't like find the errors. But like the front end, it just looks bad. Like there's nothing,
Right.
there's no hiding it.
Yeah. There were some visual anomalies that were like, that can wait till tomorrow. We don't have to deal with that tonight. And then there's those other ones like navigation, like, yeah, we need to fix this now.
Kind of important.
But it's been mostly quiet today. Post hotfix release last night, outside of, you start telling customer service and people be on high alert for issues, and then all of a sudden like something breaks and like something's wrong, and it's right around the same time my Spotify stopped working, and then you start hearing other issues. The big Cloudflare outage today
Yeah.
causing issues across the board for
Oh,
lots of people.
so that must have been my Spotify issue this morning. Like I
Uh-huh.
could not get Spotify to work. I'm like, what is going on?
Yep. So many services. And I read they haven't fully released what happened, but they're blaming a third party that they deal with. So Cloudflare is a third party we deal with. You're dealing with a third party they're dealing with, and it sounds like it's just a key value store because they just kept abbreviating KV. And I'm like, at what point is it going to be like this big circular thing where something's out and like nothing can get going again? Like this dependency on that dependency on that dependency back to the original, and something's broken somewhere. You're the Frozen or don't find that funny. I thought it was hilarious myself. Just saying. You're not paying attention. You're not there. All right.
Yeah, I think I lost you. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm here. Oh, fun. So yeah, it was a Cloudflare dependency that knocked the internet out for a while today, which is scary when you have one service that big that can cause that kind of issue. I know AWS is another one of them, right? Oh, Eric's not hearing me at all. Sorry, bud. All right. Hopefully he will hear soon. My second big issue that I've been dealing with today is fighting with my previous self. I am working on updating a feature, sorting elements on a page or sorting records on a page, and
Hey, there you are.
the
Hey,
back
John.
end. Hi, how are you? I just kept bulldozing through since you weren't paying attention. I was just sharing that my big thing today was fighting with my previous self, and I'm still in the middle of it. Working on a big change to how records are sorted, and I'm deep in code that I wrote 6 years ago, probably, if not more. And I'm just fighting with it, and like it's a mess because in some places this property of a class is a string, in other places it's an array, and I'm like, but why is it changing, and what am I doing wrong? And I completely screwed this code up. It is so bad. So I'm trying to unwind that so I can make the new stuff work, but at the same time they just want it done and don't want me to do all the fixes. Let me do it.
Yeah.
Chris, you said you heard it was a BGP hijack, so that's in the routing layer. That's not what I saw on the Cloudflare status page, unless the KV store was the BGP. Border Gateway Protocol, if I remember correctly from my networking days. And he said there was also a 10-minute outage yesterday. They are having a bad week. All right, you still with me or no? You gone?
Yeah, I'm here. My guys working in the house need to use the bathroom, and I had closed the door to this room, so I need to let him know he can use the bathroom.
Oh, is it in that room?
Yeah,
So we're gonna have random dudes walking behind you.
Probably, yeah, yeah. They were actually leaving to go to the gas station down the street. I'm like, what do you know? Like this house has got like 5 bathrooms in it, man. Just use it.
Find one somewhere.
No. Oh
Uh,
man, sorry about that.
no worries. All right.
All right, let's take a moment. Let's fire off a little honey badger thank you, and we'll just do that here. So if we come back and somebody else is in my seat, you'll know why.
Let me tell you a quick story about our sponsor, honeybadger.io. One time, a customer of theirs had a background job run overnight that caused hundreds of thousands of errors to be reported to Honeybadger by mistake. Like many other error tracking and performance monitoring tools, Honeybadger bills for monthly usage, and so this customer's mistake was going to cost them a lot of extra money that month. If you've ever used a monitoring service, you might have experienced something like this. Well, fortunately for this customer, they emailed Honeybadger's support and received the most amazing reply. Honeybadger was resetting their monthly quota and canceling their bill. This is just one example of how much the small team at Honeybadger cares about their users. Ask anyone you know and you'll hear similar stories. Go check them out at honeybadger.io. It's free to get started and setup takes less than 5 minutes. Don't forget to bookmark it. That's www.honeybadger.io. Thank you, Honeybadger.
Hey, thank you, honey badger. I think the guys had already left, man.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah, that truck is gone. Okay. Well, oh well.
You probably didn't want them
I
in your
felt
bathroom
bad. So I'm
anyway.
like, hey, I know. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm going to be podcasting, so I need to shut this door, and because they're making a ton of noise out there. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but
I haven't heard it, but then again,
yeah. So we have 2 bathrooms on the first floor, and of course, the one is in the room with me, and the other one is the one that flooded, and it's all busted. So I felt really bad, but oh well.
they're probably used to it.
Yeah, I imagine. Oh man,
All right. So, a couple things to discuss live on the air because why not do
let's
it
do it.
here rather than privately, right?
This is how
Uh,
I like. This is how I like things get to be done.
yeah. I was going through some of the closing survey responses from tech and then wanted to get your opinion.
Uh-oh.
First one, talk more about PHP and work and less about personal stuff on the PHP Architect podcast. Great job on the conference. Nicely done. That was nice. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for attending tech. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's hard. This podcast it is about us. We talk about what we have going on, both personally and professionally. And sometimes our professional lives are not PHP focused. I mean, it is in a way, but it's magazine and conference and other stuff. And sometimes the personal stories are funnier.
Yeah, I've struggled with this from time to time because I get it. Like it's the PHP podcast, right? I don't care about who you are personally. I'm coming here for PHP, but the reality of it is this is our life. Like everything about what we do is ingrained in everything we do personally. Like from our families to the events we attend. So yeah, I'm sorry. This is who we are, man. We are very cautious, or we are very aware of when we think we haven't talked about PHP enough, and we feel it. Like when we have PHP heavy shows, I think both John and I agree those feel the best.
Mhm.
But we're doing a lot, dudes. I mean, whether you guys want to appreciate it or not, we're running a business. We're coding every day. We're running projects. We're running conferences. We're putting out a magazine. We don't always have time to sit there and do PHP focused verticals. And we're doing this every week. Like, I love guys like Nuno and TJ Miller who will stream, and it'll just be them coding, or they have planned out things that they're going to talk about. We don't.
Mhm.
Like, we're just like catching things through the week, like, hey, let's maybe talk about this, maybe talk about that, and
Right.
yeah. And we hope people appreciate it, like the real world of being a developer, the fun things and the not so fun things and the tough things. It's we try to be honest, and we talk about the challenges we have with our clients, and we talk about you know the challenges we have with just running a business. So yeah, it's not for everybody, and I get that, and I appreciate what you're saying, but it's not going to change.
Not too much anyway. Constantly a work in progress. It's always changing minutely.
Always working, yes.
Trying to get 1% better, except we're never going to hit 100%. Yeah, I agree. That's a tough one. We got some criticism recently via email about our newsletter that we send out. And I agree with them. I mean, it's hard. I love my wife. She does the best that she can. She's putting the newsletter together, and she's not a graphic designer. We don't have a graphic designer really on staff. We have a company that we use, and
Which requires days of turnaround. It's not like we can tell them to do something and an hour later we have it.
right. So yes, there was an AI generated image. The person didn't like it and really thought it was unprofessional. So
Oh, kid. Okay. All right. Was there a penis in it or something?
nah, but it was like it's the right for us. So it says right for us, us. Like, and you could tell it's AI generated.
Yeah. I mean, we don't try to hide that we do AI generated stuff. Matter of fact, in our Discord, Syntax Seed even said, please don't make these AI generated episodes a habit. You didn't like the AI generated episode? We got.
You're talking about this one that we're doing right now.
We're just AI generated. Yeah, no, trust me, if we were AI generated, it would be so much better than what this is.
The problem is
All of a sudden, we're eating spaghetti and things are coming out of our heads. Yeah, we talked about it on the show last week, and we decided to release So we did an AI generated review of the magazine, which I think we're going to give that a try, because I was happy with the way it turned out. We were very transparent. We said this is AI generated, nothing special here, blah blah blah. But I thought it did a good job at reviewing the magazine, like what was released in the magazine. So yeah, we'll try to tag those so that if you want to skip them, you can skip them. But I think we might stick with it for a little while, at least until it really screws up.
Yeah, I don't know if they were actually talking about that one, but maybe they were. All right, second one. What was it?
No, go ahead.
All right, the second piece from the closing survey.
Uh-oh.
And I agree with this one. This one's negative on us. And
are there any good ones? Are you going to share any good ones?
No. Why would I do that?
Okay, good. Good. I don't. I would hate for my self-esteem. I'd hate to feel better about myself.
All right. This one is overall, compared to previous years, this conference felt low energy, with the exception of the opening keynote. Maybe it was the lighting or too much time between the last talk and social events, but I've never seen game nights that dead.
Oh, we know like game nights was dead. It had nothing to do with time.
No, I think it was time, because in the past the final talk would end at 5:00, and by 6:00 people were in there having fun, and because of low sponsorship this year, we just didn't have the funds to do any sort of food and beverage at game night. So we told people, go out, go to dinner, and come back. And sometimes once people leave, they're like, no, I'm not going back. So hopefully that'll change and go back to the way it has been next year. Like, we're working hard to get our sponsorship prospectus done for next year, so we can start talking to people and trying to turn that around and make next year better than it was this year. Try and make it more high energy. The lighting.
I'll get on stage and start screaming, "Developers, developers, developers!"
Do that. The lighting, I'm torn on. What did you think of the lighting in the ballroom?
So I'm like you. I think I'm torn on. Like, I feel like I liked it. Like, it added focus to the speaker. It was a pain with the stream. Um, yeah, I don't know. I I feel like I think it could use some tweaking, but I liked it. What
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, I liked it too. I like the suggestion. Somebody said maybe we should put like lamps or something on the tables for people that want to take notes. Give a little bit more light
That's fair.
in the audience.
Okay.
So I kind of like that idea. Um, we have plans to make the lighting, especially the stage, better next year. So we'll still do the low light in the audience and trying to make it feel like a theater style show, I guess. I don't know. I liked it. We got better with the
Yeah.
cameras. The first couple,
Can you still hear me?
the lighting was too low. Yep, I can still hear you. Yep. Uh, so we started off with having a
No,
rough
you
time with the
can't.
cameras, not having.
Okay, you're back. You can hear me now.
Yeah, I,
So, so
I was just
I
saying
will.
that.
Good. Sorry, I didn't know
Nope,
where you were at.
go for it. Professionals.
Uh, yeah, yeah, yes. Uh, um, I will say that with the ballroom specifically, presenters who had dark themed presentations really dimmed down that whole area. Like, the whole room seemed dark at that point. Like, the yeah, I think that would be the one thing I would
But I
look
think
at.
that's a complaint often though, is the dark theme for slides or code examples specifically. Uh,
Mhm.
so I have a plan to you know talk to speakers about that next year after we choose speakers. Make sure that's part of our packet we sent out. Please have your code on light backgrounds. And we're also talking about investing in some better projectors, so maybe that would help too.
Mhm. Wait. What? We're investing?
Let me move on to my last
What?
piece of feedback.
Good. Let's hear it.
I will redact the company name.
No, call him out. I want to hear. I want to hear
No, no, no.
this.
The person talking about the company. Uh,
Oh. Gotcha.
this company wasn't really a vendor. They were there. They were just there trying to hire somebody away from the company that sent me. In my case, I'm not telling my manager about that. I won't go as far as calling it unethical, but it wasn't right.
Oh, this is
And
an interesting topic.
yeah, I thought this would be a fun one.
Yeah. So, yeah, fair, I guess. Especially, like, if you're sending your employee to a conference, you really don't want to have to like combat them being poached or taken away or I mean, this happens anyways by going to conferences because we're all in the same industry. We're all solving, similar problems, and you start talking to each other. And you're like, hey, I really like the way you, take care of things, and we have this problem over here. I think you can help out with. So you already have a little bit of that issue. However, we've had the conversation between John and I about because end of day we're trying to help the community and we want to make sure we employ as many PHP developers humanly possible. Obviously we can't personally employ them all, but we want to make sure if you're a PHP developer you have a job or you have an idea of a job. And so we have talked about having an aspect of the conference be sort of like a job fair. This is just a very broad kind of description of it. We haven't really pounded out what that would look like, but basically what we want to do is give people who aren't currently employed or who are currently looking an opportunity to hook up with people who would be looking to hire. Like we don't want it to be under the table. Like we want it to kind of be above table where somebody can come to the conference and say, "Hey, I need a job as a PHP developer," and have maybe recruiters or companies come say, "Hey, we're looking to hire PHP developers," and then kind of facilitate a way for them to maybe even potentially go through an interview process at the conference. Like there are these little glass rooms that you can go into.
Hmm.
So we have had that conversation. Now, what's that balance look like? Like how do we convince companies to send your PHP developers to our conference and assure them your employee won't get poached, but at the same time, people looking for work encourage them to come to the conference because we think we can get work for you. And I
You,
don't know the answer to that.
well, one, you definitely can't ensure it no matter what to the company sending their employees. I know from my own experience, if you keep your employees happy, they're not going to go looking, or
Hmm.
they will, unless the perfect opportunity comes along. I mean, because that's happened to us in the past. We've had happy employees that they just had something else come up that no matter how much money we would have offered them, wouldn't have kept them from doing that because it was something they wanted to do. I'm not going to
Hmm.
argue with that. I want, at the end of the day, I want my employees to be happy, whether it's with us or somewhere else. Uh,
Hmm.
when I first went to PHP Tech in 2010, I was very happy where I was at. I had no ambition of leaving. I talked to people. Being poached wasn't even an option. It's like, no, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not going anywhere. So you keep your employees happy. The chances of them being poached are unlikely. Uh, to us having vendors that are there looking to hire, that's what they're there for. They want to find good PHP developers, and usually developers that go to a conference are better just because they are constantly looking to learn new things, continuing education through conferences like PHP Tech. Uh, Foamburner sponsored one year for the very same reason. Not that they were looking to hire per se, but just getting those contacts, those people that are at conferences have been a better fit for their company culture. They've been happier with people that have been to conferences. The people that they've hired that hadn't gone to conferences usually don't work out. And that's just from data that we collected over a few years. Uh, and they've sent employees to conferences for years, and people don't just leave. So I don't think being poached is as big of a deal as some employers think that it is.
Yeah, but how do you convince the employer that? And that's the other aspect of this is like if you're an employee and your employer is willing to invest the money into you to send you to a conference, I think you owe them the respect of saying, hey, I'm not saying close your ears, but just say, I'm kind of happy, or I'm here on behalf of my employer. So this is an appropriate conversation to have right now. If they follow up later, they follow up later. But that's something to consider. And it is difficult to find employers who are willing to make that investment. So you really, shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. But end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. So yeah. And Chris Miller in Discord, or CC Miller, sorry, called you out there, Chris. CC Miller in Discord said, I'm happy where I am, but if Laravel offers, I'm not saying no. LOL. You know what? Fuck you, Chris. Because that's exactly what happened to us, and I'm still bitter about it. It wasn't Laravel, it was another company within that ecosystem, and I'm still not happy with it. So, yeah. Yeah. We very much had that happen.
Our employee was very open with us and said, I'm happy here, but if company X over here ever offers a job, I'm going to take it. And Eric and I are both like, what? Like, it was just like out of the blue. We had no clue.
And here's the thing. Here's what really pisses me off. This is an individual who wasn't like, they were in the industry kind of adjacently, but they weren't like emerged into it. They were like a solo developer with where they were previously. We emerged them. We sent them. I'm not going to say that because that would call them out. But they're listening right now. I'm
sure.
Yeah. I'm not happy about that one.
You could say it. I know you're mostly joking about still holding a grudge.
No, I'm not joking at all. I will say, again, talking about running a business, I never thought I would be running a company, and it was John and I for a while, but like it was very personal to me. Like the first couple of employees we lost were very I took very personally, and I know you weren't supposed to, and blah blah blah, whatever. But it hurt. It meant a lot. This individual was the last one I allowed to hurt. Like because I honestly saw them becoming like the company, like I realized that I had mentally invested too much into where I wanted to take them, and I just decided I wasn't going to let that happen to myself anymore, which is sad, I guess, in one aspect, but it's the reality. It's how it should be anyway. It's like they shouldn't have felt bad because they were moving on to something that they wanted to move on to, and I shouldn't have taken so much offense to it, but I did.
I remember having lots of
anymore.
I know. I remember having lots of conversations with you about this with a couple of people and being like, it's a job for everyone that works for us. It's a job. They want to do the job and then they want to go home to their families and do something else. Not everyone's wants to be part of the team, like as a business owner or anything like that. But they're like, I did my work. I'm good to go. When Joe leaves, he says, "If it's gonna be your fault, 100%."
Yeah. That would be on brand. Yeah, I had something I was going to say. I was sorry, you were breaking up. I was trying to listen to you, and then I lost what I was going to say. But yeah, we should. It doesn't. Yeah, whatever. Fuck y'all.
Eric does like to take things personally. I do. I take a lot of things personally, but for some reason, when it comes to employment, I never have. But I think it's
Oh,
also
that's what I was going to say. I think the one thing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The one thing I think I changed at that point, like I still try to treat everybody with respect. I still try to, I've opened up my homes to people who work for me, which was probably something I shouldn't have done either as far as like overstepping boundaries. But I've opened up my home. I still try to have a personal relationship with everybody, but like I've stopped trying to say, "Oh, we're a family," because we're not a fucking family. Like I don't want you to treat it as a family. I want you to treat this professionally, and I'm not going to treat you as a family. I'm going to treat you professionally. So, I've tried to change my vocabulary a little bit with what we are, and I get the thing. Like I was that person, even when I worked for an enterprise. I felt like, oh yeah, we're all a family. Like, but
yeah,
we're not. Like I saw you lay off half of our family last quarter. We're not family.
right. But you wanted to feel that way, and that's the
Yeah.
way as I came up, I was that person too, I where I worked was everything, and I'd stay there for years. Most of my jobs I had for like 8 years at a time. Wait, has it been 8 years since I've been with you? Damn it! It's been more than 8. Um,
Yes.
but
We're a
I
dysfunctional
did,
family.
but I did the same thing. Part of it was imposter syndrome, where I felt like I didn't belong anywhere else. Like I didn't really belong where I was at. I was lucky to be there, and was scared to go looking. So I'm sure that's part of it. But at the same time, I also take what I do seriously and want to, wherever I'm at, make it the best it can possibly be. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember getting into arguments with my wife in my younger years where I was commuting an hour to work and then an hour home, and it was
Mm.
just a nightmare. And she's like, I lived in closer to Orlando. She's like, why don't you try and find work in Orlando? I'm like, no, I'm happy where I'm at, even though I'm driving an hour. The commute wasn't fun, but I also was very scared to go looking for other work.
Yeah. Well, and even when you did, right? I mean, like that. Even that was still because there's just so much uncertainty, right? I mean, you knew the application you were at. You built it. You knew everything about it. You knew how the company worked. You knew the industry. Why do you want to start over? Like, why do
Right.
you want to start fresh?
Hmm.
So yeah.
But then, like you said, companies don't view employees as family often and lay off half the workforce if they have to. Um,
Yep.
we would be in a better position had we done that during COVID, but we're family men. Oh, you're all family. We're gonna take care of you during
Yes,
this
yeah.
time.
Back then we were still family, right? I think if that were going to happen again, it'd be like hit the bricks. Nah.
Yep.
And we're also a little different too, right? Because we're not a big company. Like I honestly have such a huge debt of gratitude for the people who do work for us because we couldn't do it without them. I mean, it's not fun when we have to replace somebody, and we've had to do that a couple times, and it's a
Mhm.
pain, and it's a pain. It's a pain you feel for quarters and quarters as the new person learns another thing about the code base that they took over that they didn't realize was a problem.
Mhm.
So it's I and it's not just that. It's just people like Kaylin and Frank who have been with us through thick and thin. It's like, but there is nobody at PHP Architect, with the exception of Joe, I don't think could go fight another person. I had to. I had to. I had to. No, there's nobody at PHP Architect who, if they didn't want to, could leave us tomorrow. Like
Mhm.
if anybody had I want to see what else is out there. Anybody in our organization could do that to us tomorrow. There's nothing holding people here.
Please follow your contract and give us our 3-month notice.
Yeah.
That's not in our contract. It's a joke, people.
But yeah, so
We
to
need to put
John's
that in there.
point, I mean, we try to treat everybody good. We try to make them happy to be there, and you know, yeah, there's just that's how it works.
Yup. All right,
All right.
Mr. Davidson, I've unsubscribed you. He had 2 subscriptions to our newsletter, so I took care of one for him.
Oh, that
See?
was nice of you.
Look at me multitasking.
And that's the other thing about our company, especially the magazine. Like if you're part of it, you have so much input. Like you're talking to the guys who own the company. Like if you have an idea, we honestly do look at it. And we're always trying to figure out ways to improve our process. We had I guess a little miscommunication with a contributor recently, and John and I have spent days like kind of tracing our steps and say, okay, what happened? When did it happen? What could we have done better to make this not happen again? And we try to do that a lot.
I think we do a good job at it.
Just always remember, it's John's fault.
Always my fault. All right, my last thing. I should have brought this up sooner. Maybe I should save it for next week. It's late in the show.
Let's do it. If it's something bad,
it's not
finish
bad.
it off,
Last
John.
week I talked to you about Phone Burner's framework that we spent a long time. Like the monolith is huge, and one of our developers took it very seriously and spun the framework portion of it off into a separate framework, so that as we built new microservices, sorry, got probably a kid knocking at my door because they're knocking like crazy. As we build our new microservice, we can bring in the framework we're used to, and it has all the stuff we want, from event sourcing to doctrine to routing to middleware, all the things. And I mentioned they were eventually going to make it open source. Not real.
Well, you mentioned you guys were talking.
Not realizing, no, at Tech this year they open sourced it, so it's already open source and available. It's called the Salt Light framework.
You don't want to call it salty? Did you pitch that one to them? Salty?
So our main monolith, codenamed Salt, it's been called that since 2010, 2011. So when they brought it out, they made it the Salt Light framework, because got rid of all the garbage that our current monolith uses that we didn't want, such as Smarty, which is a pain in the ass, and the old ORM that we were using, the Active Mapper ORM that we had originally before switching to Doctrine, is still in the monolith, not in here. So it feels like home, just without the salty tears of frustration, as Andy put it. The feels like home is it's what we're used to.
So there's an actual open source app out there.
Yep.
Open source repo?
I just shared it in Discord. It is.
Oh.
Well, I shared it on Trello. I guess the bot's not running. So thank you, Awoods, for sharing it as well.
The bot is not running. It has crashed. Yeah. Let's see if we can't fix that.
So Awoods found it and put the link in there. Yep.
There you go. It just went out. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Probably get in trouble for.
it's in Phone Burners is the organization.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So we actually have a phone call scheduled tomorrow to talk about some of the stuff with it, like because I got to use it in an application recently, and they wanted feedback, pros, cons, all that good stuff.
Oh, this is exciting,
I'm
man. Oh, you even have a little logo. Look at that. That's very nice.
fun stuff.
Do you have actual documentation on how to use it?
No, probably needs to
documentation.
be added or built out. So yeah,
Kinda-
so I'm
kind
not
of
saying go
important.
use it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's there. We are building it out.
So you have code in here?
No, I do not have code in here. I mean, so
They don't want you
No,
touching
no, no,
anything
no.
too important. They kind of keep you on the peripherals.
no,
over
this was
here.
mainly Andy basically taking the big parts that we use in the monolith and just porting it over and doing a much better job. The cool part was as I used it, every time I had a thought like, I wonder if it has this, I would look and find it and be like, oh yeah, it does. Or if I wasn't sure and I asked him, he'd be like, yeah, it's right here. I'm like, oh, of course you thought about it.
That's how I felt with Laravel too. When I first started using Laravel, it'd be like, oh, you know, it'd be cool if you could do this one thing, and
Yeah.
it would always be there. All right, so hold on. I got to quiz you
Whoops.
on this a little bit because I'm super interested now. This is very cool. This is very cool stuff, man. I do want to say that. So you said, I think you were cutting out when you said it. So I'm sorry I didn't catch it. You said you're not using Smarty. Are you using some sort of
I
templating
don't know
engine?
what templating engine's being used in here.
I guess I could look at Composer probably. It would probably tell me. Let me take a look at your Composer JSON. Oh, look,
Yep.
Tim's got his name in there. Yeah, Tim and Andy, they just
Right.
hogged the spotlight on that one. Just snatched it right out from underneath you. Oh, this is interesting. So not only are you open sourcing the framework, but there are multiple other packages here that are being open sourced through the Phone Burner open source organization. Oh, there's Phone Burner and Phone Burner
Well, Phone
open
Burner open
source.
source was
Interesting.
back before we had the Phone Burner organization. We had another one. We've switched it to the Phone Burner organization, and Phone Burner open source is going away. So those things that you see there are things that we released many years ago, and just haven't moved them over to the Phone Burner repo or organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Phone Burner. There are even things. There are separate GitHub repos. Yes, there's a Phone Burner open source, which is what I already mentioned. But there's also still Phone Burner organizations here. I assume all those are just separate open source packages. I mean, they have to be
Correct.
able to get pulled.
Yeah. So
here.
it's like I said, the Phone Burner open source organization will eventually be going away. I think it was just
Ramsey.
It was the original thought.
Ramsey's UUID. I got a funny thing. Oh, I lost you again.
Nope, you're there. I can hear you.
Damn it. I have something funny about Ramsey.
Well, say it, because we can hear you. Yep.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a funny story about Ramsey. So Ramsey's UUID and UUID Docker packages are used, which are a pretty typical package that's used in PHP and frameworks, especially anybody who uses UUID. So since tech, I had noticed that my wife had a sticker, right? And I was like, yeah, that's cute. And carries it in her phone case. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So she carries it in her phone case. So she has a phone case like mine where it's orange, but it's clear where you can see through it, right? And it's an elephant. It's an elephant like sleeping on a globe or something. It's a very cute sticker. And what are we in? We're in June now, so it's almost been a month since tech, right? And I'm like, oh, what's that? I've been meaning to ask you, what's that sticker you got in your phone case? And she looks like she's, oh, you like that? I'm like, yeah. She goes, it's Ben Ramsey's package. I'm like, what? or a service that Ben Ramsey wrote. I feel terrible right now because I can't remember what it's called. It's a play on REST APIs, but I can't put it together. I'm like, I almost drove us off a cliff. I'm like, what? Why didn't you just get his name tattooed on you? God damn that Ramsey. The guy just haunts me. He haunts me, John.
All over your stuff.
I'm telling you. I'm like, it's funny. I don't remember ever seeing you with a PHP Architect sticker in your phone case. It is a cute sticker, by the way. But, I got it. Hey, if you're listening to this, wife, message me what the name of the service is called because it was an interesting service.
I should know
And,
it. I don't.
Or Ben, if you're listening, feel free to pimp your service in our Discord, or if anybody else knows in Discord. It was a very funny exchange the wife and I had about that. So, and keep in mind, she still hasn't taken it out of her phone. It's still there.
Who doesn't like Ben Ramsey?
You with me, Jim?
Yep. Everyone
Me?
loves Ben Ramsey.
I don't like Ben. I don't like Ben Ramsey.
All right. We're an hour and 10 in. That's all I got.
All right. Fine.
Fine.
We'll talk about your RESTful service next week, I guess. Ben Ramsey. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's it's a play on RESTful API, but I don't know what it is. All right, yeah. This was a struggle. I don't know if next week's going to be any better. They're cutting walls down and
I would
all
hope
sorts
it'd be better. A
can't be
week out.
worse, right?
I would hope.
2 weeks, yeah. It'll be 2 weeks out by that time. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm happy. I'm now. Everything's costing a lot of money, and not. Yeah.
If only
I'm
would have
fine.
cut that phone call short a
Nothing
little
fun
sooner.
about this, but it will get better.
Yes, it will. Alrighty. We're going to cut it there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hopefully Eric's internet is better next week.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Bye.
This has been PHP
I'm
Podcast,
trying
the
to click
official
it. It's not
podcast
clicking.
of
You're gonna have
PHP
to
Architect,
click it.
the industry's leading tech magazine and publisher, focused on PHP and web development. Subscribe today at phparch.com to see what the leaders in the community and industry are talking about.